What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our playoffs quarterfinals team builder for the NCL or the Nimbasa City League. This week we are taking on my good buddy Daniel or Corona and his Seattle Staraptors. The way the seeding worked was, since I won the pallet division, I got to play the wild card number 2 slot from the Johto Conference, which Daniel was. You can see his record down there on the bottom. He finished the season 2-10 minus 27. Unfortunately, with the way the randomizer worked, people like Jed and TJ, who finished 7-5 and 8-4 respectively, did not get to make playoffs just because of how difficult the Kanto Conference was. I won the division by 1 game at the end of the day. I finished 10-2. Cade finished 9-3, Magic finished 9-3. It was a very hard-fought season, very, very difficult conference, and in the end, the Johto Conference ended up showing to be a lot weaker than the Kanto Conference did. I believe at the end of the last week, every single person in the Kanto Conference had a winning streak, and everyone in the Johto Conference had a losing streak. So that's kind of how it went. But we're playing Daniel. We played him once before this season, obviously, because we played everybody. But let's run through his team anyways. His has not changed since the last time we played him, but he has Mega Altaria, Dragonite, Goodra, Kingdra, Flygon, Guzzlord, Turtonator, Kyurem Black, Alolan Exeggutor, Dragalge, and Druddigon. Possibly the easiest matchup that I could have had going into the playoffs. The only other better one I could have had was Mortal, who I had already beaten twice. Excuse me, and the second time we ended up 6-0ing him with Celesteela. Daniel has priority in Dragonite with Extreme Speed, Hazards with Dragalge with Toxic Spikes, and Druddigon with Stealth Rocks, Removal with Altaria with Defog, Dragonite with Defog, and Flygon with Defog. He has 4 times weaknesses in Dragonite to Ice, Flygon to Ice, Guzzlord to Fairy, and Alolan Exeggutor to Ice. We're going to try and abuse the hell out of Ice and Fairy, which is basically everybody's strat against him, but that's kind of how you have to play it. Last time he brought Dragonite, Goodra, Kingdra, Turtonator, Kyurem Black, and Alolan Exeggutor, and I think he brought Screen's Dragonite against me. I believe it was like a Focus Energy Kingdra set. I can't exactly remember. It might have been, yeah. Goodra, I think, was Assault Vested. Turtonator was like a Shell Trap set. Kyurem Black, I can't remember what that was. And Alolan Exeggutor was a Trick Room set, I believe. Guzzlord is not coming, Druddigon is not coming. Neither of those are coming. I don't see a world where either of them show up. If Druddigon shows up, it could be a problem. Guzzlord is not a problem whatsoever. My team handles Guzzlord very, very well. Last time, I was expecting the Mega Altaria, the Flygon, and the Dragalge, and he didn't bring any of them. This time I don't think Dragalge's coming. I don't think it makes a ton of sense for him to bring Dragalge this time when he didn't bring it last time, especially now that I have Espeon. It threatens the Dragalge even more. That might be a reason for him to bring Guzzlord now, is that I have the Espeon. But again, I have 2 fairies on this team, so he might not. Mega Altaria I was really shocked by. I think he still probably won't bring it, just because Celesteela kind of walls it, unless he runs a special set with Fire Blast or Flamethrower. Flygon, again, Celesteela completely hardwalls that thing regardless. He has to have Thunder Punch, and it still does no kinds of damage to me. Dragalge, he can't hit, even with adaptability, he can't hit my walls hard enough, is the problem. He has to pick a Dragon move against Celesteela, and Azumarill switches in on that. He has to pick a Poison move against Azumarill, and Celesteela switches in on that. So, we'll see how that goes. In terms of my team, yeah, in terms of my team, we're bringing almost the same team as last time, but I'm going to run through it right now. So, we're starting off with Mega Beedrill here. U-turn, Poison Jab, Toxic Spikes, and Brick Break. T-Spikes are going to be so good against his team if he doesn't bring Dragalge. Now, Altaria flies before it Megas, Dragonite flies before it Megas, Flygon levitates, Dragalge can suck them up, right? That's all good and fine. The rest of his team gets cucked by T-Spikes. 1 layer of T-Spikes is all I need. It can weaken things like Goodra for me to pick them off with like a banded Azumarill later. Weakens things like Kingdra and makes it so it can't sweep. Weakens things like Kyurem Black, which is really important. Weakens things like Alolan Exeggutor. Weakens things like the Druddigon, which is also really important. T-Spikes are huge. U-turn for some momentum. He's got a few resists. Altaria wants it Megas, Dragonite, and Turtonator. And Dragalge, but his team doesn't resist Bug as much as you might think. I don't know. Poison Jab hits a lot of his team for really good neutral damage. It kind of blows back Mega Altaria and Alolan Exeggutor. Outside of that, Poison Jab just kind of hits everything else hard. He doesn't have the Steel type. There's no Dragon Steel that I know of, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And Brick Break is there. Last time I had Throat Chop to deal with Hyper Voice Mega Altaria. Didn't come. I'm more concerned about Screens. He's brought Screens, Kyurem Black, and Screens Dragonite, and Brick Break is for that. 12 speed with Adamant Nature lets us outspeed the Flygon. We're outspeeding a max speed Flygon with this, so that's kind of cool. We outspeed his entire team with 12 investment. Max attack Adamant means we're going to hit like a truck, and we have almost max HP, which is pretty cool on a Mega Beedrill, so that's kind of neat. Next up's Elefante, bring Donphan with Rocky Helmet Sturdy, Stealth Rock, Play Rough, Ice Shard, Roar. Play Rough's really important to hit his entire team. He's got two fairy resists per se, like neutral the fairy, and Turtonator and Dragalge. Dragalge doesn't want to take an Ice Shard. Turtonator can handle this, but I don't really care about Turtonator. I can roar it when it tries to Shell Trap. Rocks chip his team down a lot. Kyurem, Dragonite both get hampered by Rocks quite a bit. Turtonator, same thing. He doesn't have the greatest removal options. He dropped Latias, which in my opinion was the best defogger on his team. Roar is just to phase things over T-Spikes and Rocks over and over and over again. We are physically defensive to be able to take on the Dragonite. I think he brought like a special Dragonite against me last time, but we can also take on the Flygon too. And a physical Kingdra we can take on relatively well. Physical Mega Altaria we take on relatively well. Kyurem, as long as it's not packing Ice Beam. Same thing. Excuse me. Physical Goodra, physical Draudigon, physical Guzzlord, same thing. Physical Wall, Donphan. It's your boy Donphan. Next up's Uxie. We're bringing a nifty Uxie set. Got the Light Clay on here with Light Screen, Reflect, Toxic, and U-Turns. Kind of been our main set the most of the season for Uxie is Screens. I'm not actually bringing setup, spoilers, I'm not bringing setup with with the Screens. My main setup has been Azumarill. I could have also run like Calm Mind Espeon or something like that, and Quiver Dance for Bombi, but I ended up just going with Screens for natural bulk. Toxic is really good against everything, especially as setup sweepers, and U-Turn for just a soft switch out after I've got a screen up. We're running 8 in speed to make sure that we outspeed, Kyurem Black running no speed. We'll always outspeed that thing. Max HP, and then we have even defenses with Careful Nature and that defense investment and that special defense investment, nice and even, with minus special attack because we're running U-Turn. Rather get more damage with U-Turn. Next up, we're bringing a really cool Celesteela set that I've seen before, but I haven't brought this season. We're bringing a Metal Sound set. Again, he doesn't have a Steel type. He also doesn't have a Rock type, which means there's no flying resist on his team. So I decided to bring Metal Sound Air Slash. Air Slash being the only move that I need to run against his team with Sub-Leech Seed. Alolan Executor is the only thing that cannot get Leech Seeded. So I will gladly take a Leech Seed off of anything, and he can't really break my sub with a whole lot just because of how naturally bulky Celesteela is and the natural immunities and stuff that Celesteela has. We're obviously immune to ground and we're immune to poison. We're only weak to electric and fire, so he has to hit us with one of those. We resist the fairy, we resist the dragon. Really good typing to take on his team. So I think that I can get a sub up and then a Leech Seed and get a lot of my HP back and then start Metal Sounding things and air slashing them, or even just clicking Metal Sound, threatening something out and then getting a sub up, and then repeating the process over and over again. We are running 156 speed, which lets us outrun no speed base 80s. He has 3 base 80s, Mega Altaria, Dragonite, and Goodra. If they don't run any speed, we're outspeeding them by 1 point. Nice and easy to get a sub up on. We're running max HP and the rest is in special attack with a Calm Nature, just because I want to take things like a potential Flamethrower Fire Blast from the Altaria a little bit better, but we're still getting a special attack Beast Boost. That's Celesteela, pretty nifty set. Next up is Azumarill. This is, I believe, the same set that we brought last time, move-wise. We're bringing a Banded set with Toxic, Play Rough, Knockoff, and Brick Break. Didn't really need another move there. Could have put Ice Punch, but Play Rough's just going to hit everything better because it's Stab anyways. Knockoff to get rid of some items. Brick Break in case he brings screens. So I have 2 ways to get rid of his screens without bringing Defog to get rid of my own Toxic Spikes, which is really good. Banded, it just hits his team so ridiculously hard with Play Rough. We're running a lot of speed in here. This is the exact same set, exact same reason that Celesteela is running the same speed, 197, 197. We're outspeeding a space 80s with no speed, so we could potentially outrun the Dragonite and OHKO it, outrun the Goodra and OHKO it, that kind of thing. Max attack Adamant, tiny bit in HP, odd value of HP, rest into Spit F. Last but not least, we're bringing Hydreigon. We brought a Scarf set of Hydreigon last time. I'm not super scared about a Scarfer on his team, so I'm actually going to bring Specs this time. And if he doesn't bring Mega Lotari again, he has no switch-ins to a Specs Draco from this thing. Everything drops. Yeah, like Assault Vesta Goodra might be the only thing that tanks. Maybe Dragonite with multi-scale up. Everything else gets completely bopped by a Draco. I have Dragon Pulse if I need to clean up late game with the Dragon Pulse instead. U-turn for some momentum if he does have the Mega Lotaria, to see if that's a switch into this. It should be, because it resists both stabs. Guzzlord might be a switch into this potentially, I don't know. Flash Cannon's there for the Mega Lotaria if it does end up coming. Kind of good neutral damage, but again, if Lotaria doesn't come, I'm really not clicking anything except for Draco Dragon Pulse. So, running a lot of speed on here. Hasty 232, which lets us outspeed the... What are we outspeeding? We are outspeeding Kyurem Black. Max speed Kyurem Black, which is almost everything on his team. Only thing faster would be Flygon. We couldn't outspeed Scarf Flygon anyway, so I don't care about running a Scarf to outspeed that. If he brings Scarf Kyurem Black, you know, good on him. But he can't lock himself into one move that takes on my entire team, so I'm not super scared of that. Hydreigon is really good against his team, but it's not my only way to beat his team. Obviously, Azumarill and Celesteela do a super good job of that as well. So we'll see how this goes. Max special attack with a lot of speed. Running Hasty over Timid because I have U-turn, and I kind of just want to get more damage out of U-turn. It's basically the only reason. So that's my squad to take on Daniel. I guess I'll run over the mons that I'm not bringing. I'm not bringing Darmanitan because his entire team resists fire outside of Alolan Executor and Kyurem Black, and he has 4 times resists in Kingdra and Turtonator. It doesn't really do much against his team anyways because it doesn't run ice coverage. Rotom-Mow, again, not great. His team resists electric and resists grass everywhere. Girder is slow, like a lot of his team, but his team is not very weak to fighting. And Mega Lotaria just kind of bops it. Rabombi, I did bring last time, and I thought about bringing it in this time, and I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care too much. I brought like a Pixie Plate Quiver Dance set last time, and it wasn't that great. Webs aren't good against his team either, so I didn't care about that. Espeon, another mon that I thought about bringing. It's a good wall breaker. It doesn't really, like the best fairy move against is Dazzling Gleam, so I'm not stoked about that. Could have just run like Mono Psychic. Again, Guzzlord is his only resist to that. It's his only immunity to Psychic. Like he has no flying or Psychic resist on his entire team. Could have done that very easily. Chose not to. Oh well. I think the team that I'm bringing now is fine. I've got a good mix of defense in the Uxie and the Donphan, and offense and things like the Hydreigon and the Azumarill, and then sort of a balance with Celesteela, and Mega Beedrill is going to be a really nice lead option to get up some Toxic Spikes, potentially U-turn out on something, and break some screens. That's kind of the idea there. So that's all for me, and I will catch you guys for the match.